Metaphysically, I'm just going to throw this in for free. Metaphysically, feet represent understanding in Scripture. I don't know if you know that or not. It's how you walk. If I want to get over there, I need my feet to go in front of each other. How do you walk inside? I know how to walk outside to get from here to there, but how did I walk inside to get where I was raised in fundamental Christianity to what I'm standing here before you at the level of this consciousness? I did it from understanding to understanding. Understanding to understanding to understanding. That's how you walk. In the Bible, there's a lot about feet. One thing, it says, beautiful are the feet that preach the gospel. And I thought, okay, God, you got a little fetish going on here with feet? Until I understood the metaphysical. Then there's the washing of feet. Some of you might even remember, if you're old-time Baptist, old-time fundamentalists, we had foot washing services to humble ourselves, and we washed one another's feet. But it says we wash by the washing of the word. In the East, women put tight shoes on to make their feet small because that's very petite and feminine, is to have small feet. So they wear really tight shoes to do that. And then the other Eastern culture, if you've walked into somebody's home, they'll ask you to take off your shoes. So bottom line, take off the bindings of your understanding and receive the spiritual message to move you forward in the growth of your consciousness. So when you come in here on Sunday, I'm going to invite you to take off the bindings of your mind and be ready for new understanding. Be ready for what Spirit has to say to us today. Isn't that what's important? What does the Spirit have to say to us today? So I just invite you to know that you are on holy ground. When you take off the binding of your mind and you're like, I don't want to learn anything new. I don't want to change my thinking. I'm comfortable where I am. Then you are binding your mind from receiving what Spirit may have to say to you today to expand your consciousness. Today's message is what? Energy investments. Are you investing consciously? I'd like to start out with an experience rather than knowledge, just knowledge, which I always like to do that for you. So bear with me, and this is not new to some of you, especially some energetic students that are here. But this is the philosophy, the cornerstone of what was the download many years ago, but it actually started around when I was 10 years old. A young 10-year-old young man being raised in the oil and religious capital of America, which was Tulsa, Oklahoma. We were known for two things. We were the oil capital of the world at that time, and we was known for Oral Roberts. Oil and oral. And Oral Roberts, of course, speaks of a healer. Very famous, very famous. People flocked by the thousands. And I was drug around to those campaigns by my family. And being the unusual soul that I am, I noticed things. I observed things. And one of the things I observed is that how some people received healing and some didn't. Some were begging for healing in wheelchairs and whatever. But some got healed, some did not get healed. And in my young mind, because I just learned in Sunday school a scripture that says, and God is no respecter of persons. And I said, this isn't quite working here. Why would you heal some and not heal others? Now, that's a young mind to get that kind of thinking. So I observed it, not getting the answer at all based upon where I was in my thinking and what I've been taught about God. So as I grew many years, I'll go forward many, many years, and I started into more metaphysical thinking. I began to be observant in all the New Thought metaphysical workshops for manifestation. Now, healing was a part of it, but mostly it was about how to manifest, how to miss the right partner, how to manifest enough money, how to manifest the right job, how to manifest this, that, and another. And again, I saw the same pattern. Some manifested, some didn't manifest. And I'm still asking why. What is it that some find it so easy to manifest a healing or to manifest whatever it is that is the desire of their heart, why others struggle with it and do not find it easy or find it at all to manifest? Well, here's what I was told. Now, this is a result. Now, I've raised my consciousness from that 10-year-old little Christian fundamentalist kid to now I was dabbling into quantum thinking. When you are into quantum thinking, you've gone into a much deeper level of information. You've left more of the sensory world into the invisible world to the senses, because we didn't even know it existed. We thought it was nothing. But it wasn't nothing. It was just getting smaller and smaller. We thought atoms was the smallest thing. Then we found out atoms are made up of smaller things. And we found those smaller things were made of smaller things. And we got all the way down into electrons, protons, and neutrons. And then we got into quarks and we got into neutrinos. And we just kept going until we ran out of things. And that's where we landed in the field. You may call it God. I call it the field of all possibility. Okay. All potential. In that I learned that we thought that what we could not see was empty. And that's not true anymore. You got to shift your paradigm. Where we thought there was empty space was just a more finer existence of reality that was not perceived through the five senses. I meant to make this a two-part message. I don't mind doing that. So next Sunday I'll get... And I've told you that was the thing that changed me when I heard Deepak Chopra on a tape many, many years ago say that physics has found what we thought was empty space in the cell is not empty space, but it's a teeming electromagnetic field of all possibility. And everything in me lit up. I didn't understand it, but I knew it. Okay. Huh? Sometimes you know before you understand. I knew that I had found my own potential, or what I was calling God in me was my potential. And it taught me that even though we live in the illusion of a simulated third-dimensional world, that what appears to the senses is not reality. Such as I'm here and Elaine is there as bodies, and it looks like there's a lot of space between us. If you could immediately open your third eye If you could open your eye of enlightenment, you would see a whole different picture that's going on between these two bodies. First thing, you would see a heart field that is reaching out more than 8 feet in every direction, that we are so energetically in each other's heart field. So my simple illustration of this is the fish story. The little fish who is on a quest to find water. Who has no idea at all that it's in the water. We have so long lived at a place in which we think we live in this world of empty space when we live in energy. A sea. I'm going to call it a sea of energy. The little fish doesn't know it no more than we did. So what did we do? We went on a quest looking for it. We went to workshops, we went to gurus, we went to teachers. Show me the way. Show me the way. I want to know about energy. I want to know about spirit. Teach me, teach me, teach me. So the little fish was going around trying to find somebody that could tell him, where's the water? Where's the water? And then a little enlightened fish comes by and says, but you're in the water. It's everywhere. So we could call this field of energy universal energy, or God energy if you want to. We live, we move, we have our being in this field of pure energy. I said we live. You move every day and have your being in this field of energy. And yet oftentimes you come looking for it. Now, I didn't get my answer until almost 25 years ago when I started getting the downloads that would become Soma Energetics classes and teaching. But I begin to see energy differently. First of all, on a cellular level, you are given enough energy that if used correctly and consciously, you can fulfill the purpose of a lifetime. That's what I was told. Everybody comes in with exactly the amount of energy that equals manifesting and fulfilling their purpose for incarnating in a lifetime. But the truth is, we've never understood that and not taught that until we keep running out of the energy we've been given before we find our purpose. So then we have to come to a different level of understanding that we may need to come back again. And again, until we finally understand, like that little fish, that we live in the cosmic sea of all energy. So the message today is energy is currency. Why people do not heal, why people do not manifest, is because at where we are, and this is where you got to bring evolution and creation together. You know, I'm a creationist, you know that by now. If I hadn't found a place for myself, I just created one. So I'm a creationist. I'm not in the black and white of this and that, but I see them working beautifully together. So as we are evolving in evolution as far as our material physical experience, we have not reached a level of consciousness to awaken in us the inner financial advisor, we're going to call it. Now, if you all of a sudden won a big sum of money in the lottery, millions of dollars, or an inheritance comes to you of a large amount, the most wise thing you can do is to seek out counsel and people who are trained in how to use that money in a way for the best use and the best interest. Because I read of people who have won millions of dollars that didn't have the training of expanding their consciousness to meet the level of the money they had, and they absolutely they ruined themselves. It was not a pleasant experience at all because they didn't have the wisdom of how to use it productively. So in evolutionary term, about where we are in evolution, to me, this is me, we are just at the end of adolescence evolution. We've grown out of the Homo erectus, I'm going to use their language, Neanderthal. We're not quite there like our cave brothers and sisters were. We have entered a much higher state than that. But then religion came along at this level and said, but you are God's perfect creation. The worst thing religion ever taught us that we bought into, that these bodies is perfectly created by a perfect God. Common sense tells me no. If that which I connect to, that I call creator, father, mother, whatever I call it, which is whole and perfect and total, how could it create something lesser than itself? It makes no sense. Therefore, our physical body is the result of our evolutionary journey. So we're Homo sapien or Homo sapiens sapien, which is a little bit higher level than the regular Homo sapien. But here's our legacy: survival of the species. That's what we think success is, survival of the species. If I can just get the right house of my dreams, if I can just drive the right car and with the right emblem on it, if I can just find the right other physical body, that's going to be it. Well, trust me. Some of you have already been there and learned that lesson, and some of you is getting ready to. Now, I'm not saying there's not people to come together, but it has nothing to do with the old evolutionary sacral sexual attraction to pass your genes down. If you're here and you're looking for partnership, you better start raising it up to your heart where there's a different frequency for relationships. Because you don't need somebody because they're looking good or looking fine. He just looks fine. Or look at her, whoa, that tight, beautiful body. Maybe your dad taught you to pick out a lady like you go pick out tomatoes at the grocery store and find something firm. Well, just go home and set that on the counter a while. And see how firm it stays. So if that's the level of attraction you're using for somebody, you're in for a surprise because things are going to change. No, you want people that have a matching frequency for spiritual partnership. Yes. I call them twin flames. Oh no, everybody says, pray for me, a soulmate. I said, I will, but I'll keep praying for you after you get one. Soulmate are work. Yeah. Because the soul is the thing that's trying to evolve. It mirrors in each other in the relationship what we've not healed in ourselves. Oh, somebody help me. Oh, yeah. And then the ego mind says, well, it's not you, it's them. I was doing fine till you came along. If you shift up higher to the higher self, it'll say, oh no, you brought him in as your teacher to teach you what you need to heal in you. And quit projecting it on a symbol outside yourself. You can't make me angry if I've got anger, unless I have anger already in me that's unresolved. I'm going to say it again. You cannot make me angry unless there is anger already in me that's unresolved. The Course is very good on that, on projection. That the ego projects on something outside of ourselves so that we don't see the work we need to do inside of ourselves. So I even say that here in this community. There is no way where we are that we're not going to push people's buttons once in a while. There's going to be something you don't like. There's going to be somebody that just don't look right. There's somebody, whatever, that didn't speak to you right. Somebody, and then you're going to get all upset. You're going to get mad. You're going to get whatever, when all the while they were showing you what you need to heal in you. Now I'm going to use Yeshua, Jesus, as my pattern here, because his crucifixion was the crucifixion of his ego. That's what was undone at the cross, so to speak. Everything in him that he had been taught about himself as a body was undone. His race, his culture, even his mother and father in the natural. He looked past his own mother and said, "You're all my mother and father." How rude to look past your mother. He went through a process that's been mostly changed or edited out so that we don't know the process of how he undid his complete ego pseudo-identity as Jesus. Jesus is a pseudo name, by the way. It's not his real literal name at all. I doubt if he ever heard the name Jesus whatsoever. If he had a name in his language, it would have been Yeshua or Yahshua. It would not have been Jesus. Jesus comes in some of the translations where there's some Greek influence and whatever. You can study that out. But it doesn't matter. You can call him George if you want to, but just call him by the Spirit. That's what it says. You can call me, but call me by the Holy Ghost. Because my name doesn't matter. It's my nature. Yes. That is my name. And my nature is love. Yes. Right. My nature is love. Barbara Marx Hubbard, who has been a great influence as one of my mentors many years ago, who had an experience with Jesus as an agnostic Jew, which I find all these agnostic Jews and the parts they have played is phenomenal. Whether it's Helen Schuckman with A Course in Miracles, or whether it's Barbara Marx Hubbard, who became known as the great creator of the school of evolution of consciousness. But she was told the New Testament, beginning with Jesus, was the moment in evolution that we move from our mammalian stage to the next level of our evolution. This is why maybe you have never fully, completely fit in to the 3D model. Because you've been born on the edge of evolution. I'm going to say it again. You have incarnated on the edge of an evolutionary leap into the next level of what it means to be human. In fact, you're going to be the human without the hue. You know what they said of him, what the humans said? What manner of man is this? He looks like us. I know old Yeshua with the Sabbat with him. Celebrated Sabbat with him. Oh yeah, I knew his family. Yeah, I know where he comes from, old Nazareth. They knew him from his physical identities, which he so outgrew when he knew he was the Christ, the Son of the living God. Hear me. Not Jesus. Christ is the Son of God. Read it in Matthew. Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And upon this I'll build, upon this rock, I'm going to build a people. A people within a generation, a people within a people of light within a people. So when the adversary came, and it will come, whatever you call it. Some may call it government, some may call it religion, some may call it technology, some may call it 5G, some may call it this, some may call it that. Call it what you want, but the adversary will rise up for the final test. Hear me, I'm just here by the Spirit to tell you that you're just about to qualify for the initiation. I just heard the Spirit tell them. Tell them they're just about to qualify for the initiation into the next step of an order without a mother and a father, without a beginning or ending of days, without a descent, without a race, without an identity of 3D, and they shall become a new creation in me. Woo-hoo. We're on the verge. We're on the verge. Stay. Hold on. So when the adversary finally came, and by the way, it says in there that for his last test, before he moved into his full potential, that he was led by the Holy Spirit into the wilderness. The devil didn't lead him into it. The Holy Spirit said, I'm leading you into this place for the final test, because I have to see, is there anything left in you of your old pattern? And you know what it says? And the adversary foundeth nothing in him. Yes. So anger could not make him anger because he had no anger. It had been crucified. He had no racism because it had been crucified if he did have it. If he bought into the elect and the few and the chosen and all of that, whatever he was taught was crucified and undone in him until nothing was left in him but his authentic essence of who he was. The Christ, the offspring, the individualization of the one true being. I'm glad I got a pattern. I feel for you don't have no pattern because you don't know where you're going. I'm glad I got somebody said, I'm the way. Yes. I am the way. So, What I realized is people who don't heal, even though we want to blame it like, well, oh God, what's wrong with me? I've been meditating for 20 years. I've been in New Thought. I have done workshops. I have done visualization. I've done all these wonderful things that I've learned, but I'm still not able to totally manifest the true desires of my heart. But here's why. Because you're running out of energy that you've been given for a lifetime. Because we have spent it foolishly and without the high advisor of higher self teaching us how to consciously invest our energy, we started running out of energy before our time. But here's the good news. I was taught how to take somebody's energy field in its most depleted state and how to connect it to universal energy field and withdraw from the universal bank or energy field into the third energy anatomy, raising the energy from survival to abundance. Huh? In other words, and here's what I do, and I do this a lot with new students or new people that I do tunings with, is I use this money idea of them feeling, they've been in classes of visualization, having great faith. So they feel like they've got this faith and whatever, and they really want to help my ministry. They want to help HeartLight, whatever. They just really want to help so much that they want to have faith. So they have faith, they believed if they wrote out a $10,000 check that would be covered somehow quite miraculously. Now, if that happens, yay. We get so excited over any little miracle. There should be no miracles. It should be a natural state. Not something that is supernatural and against the law of life that you live in. But we get so excited over the most little thing that shows up. Oh, I had a bad elbow, but it's better today. I'm not saying it's not good. I like that too. So much I could say I'm trying not to say. There. So this person writes me the check, truly believing this check is going to be covered because of their faith and desire to do the right thing. They felt like God was going to back them up with it, and somehow that $10,000 is going to show up. Most likely it didn't. If it did, yay. So when I go deposit the check, guess what? Insufficient funds. So the check doesn't go through. That same person gets money and inheritance, whatever, and has money in the bank and comes back and says, I still want to give you that check, $10,000 check. They ran out the $10,000 check. I deposited it and it goes through because there was enough money to cover it in their bank account. So I thought, why do we keep trying to heal people? And why do we keep trying to manifest and do all of this until we march them down to the universal energy bank and make a withdrawal and then deposit it back into their energy account that they have energy now beyond their survival level? See, most of you are using what energy you got to keep a roof over your house, a car to drive, gas to put in it, groceries, clothes to put on your back. That's just survival stuff. That's just 3D stuff. But let the doctor tell you you have an incurable disease, or something really challenging happens into your life and you're ready now to use your prayer. And your affirmations and nothing happens. Now, I know you don't like to hear this because I tell you, somewhat where New Thought and all of that has brought us is too much in the clouds. I think sometimes we need to come out of the clouds a little bit and look at things and say, wait a minute, maybe there's a more excellent way here. That's all I'm asking people to do. Just look at it until we discover what it is that's going to start working to manifest. This, I'm going to tell you, this is what the world's groaning for. All creation is groaning for the manifestation of the sons of God. What they're looking for is not a new religion, not a new church. They're looking for a manifestation of the coming of Christ in manifestation in us. That's what's going to get their attention. Not you sitting down with all your knowledge and me sitting down and giving my Greek and my Hebrew and sounding all smart about something like that. They're not going to look at that. They're going to look at the manifestation. Is love manifesting? Is light manifesting? Is peace manifesting? Is joy manifesting? Is abundance manifesting? So, every one of you have a personal energy field. Is everybody with me on that? Everybody? Now, here's what is said. 99.9% of the time, my body has an aura. Well, with my spiritual dyslexia, which really works quite well for me spiritually, I said, wait a minute. The brain always puts matter before energy. Wrong. Turn it around and put energy before matter. So I found myself telling people, your energy body has a physical body. It's not just going this way, it's coming in and becoming your body. And you have basically 7 major subtle energy bodies, which is the spin-off of the 7 major chakras of the body. When the crown chakra spins off into a body, it's called the etheric body. Etheric. In Kabbalah, the tree of life is the Kether. Kether is at the top of the tree of life, and those are words that come to mean crown. So the crown chakra becomes the etheric body. And what's unique about that body is it holds the blueprint of your perfect whole creation. You don't have to get it because you don't have it. You need to have a frequency to match it. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Do not come from the belief of lack. I don't have it. Where can I get it? No. Go into a teaching that says, can you raise my consciousness to a frequency that I can remember I already am whole and created magnificent. When you've done that, you've been spiritually crowned. We shall wear a crown. We shall wear a crown. And then on it goes. I won't go through all of them, but as the frequencies are lowered, we have different bodies all the way down to astral, mental, emotional, and whatever. And then the one just before the physical body is called the etheric body. Now, the etheric body holds the blueprint for cellular reproduction. It doesn't read this etheric because the etheric has been so mistranslated by the time it gets to astral, mental, and emotional, because that's where we hold our karmic issues, is in those lower frequencies. Unresolved, emotional issues have all piled up in our karmic debt. So by the time the blueprint for wholeness is mistranslated as something inferior, it produces an inferior blueprint of itself, of the real blueprint. So now the cells are reading an inferior blueprint, which gives us an inferior physical body. That's why your body is able to, 1, start dying at the moment of conception. Everything is in atrophy. Everything in this material world, everything in this room is atrophy. By the way, the grounds are looking in atrophy. I'm glad I said, send Cindy today. I did. I said, I need Cindy. The grounds are not looking good. And Cindy knows what to do with them. But thank you for showing up. But everything, things around here all the time, needs to be touched up, needs to be redone, whatever. Your body, you got to brush your teeth so many times. You got to take showers. You got to do everything because everything is heading toward entropy and death. I'm here to tell you there's a better blueprint. As your cells are dying right now sitting here, by the tens of millions right now sitting here, you get a new body every 7 years. You get a liver every 6 weeks. And somebody says to me, well, if I get a liver every 6 weeks and I have a liver cancer, why in 6 weeks when I get the new liver, I still have cancer? Because you didn't change the blueprint that's causing the cancer. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. And that's why I developed something in Soma Energetics called etheric healing, or working in the etheric blueprint rather than addressing the physical body first. We look for things in the energy bodies with the tuning forks, the sensitivity of the tuning forks, the language of the tuning forks, where it stopped, where it changed sound, where it went through a heavy place. We knew exactly, we had found a mispatterning in the etheric blueprint. I can't help it. This is just in me. So we've got to change the blueprint. So the bottom line was just simply this. Show me how I can connect a person's individual energy system to universal energy system. How can I then bring in from universal energy that energy and raise the account of energy in the individual? Then it came to me, how do we do that intelligently? Yeah. And it said, use the chakra system. The chakra system will tell you when enough energy has been deposited into the third energy etheric blueprint that is now available for manifestation and desires to be met. And sure enough, we learned by putting a tuning fork in that etheric body, and it moved and balanced and kicked it out. I'll never forget the first time we experienced the fork being kicked out and saying, enough. Because you don't want to overstimulate the system. You want to work with the capacity of the system. I don't know why I'm doing this today. I'm sorry, I just have this on my mind. And I won't let these teachings die, even though I've sold the company. I still have the teachings for people to understand that why things may not be working exactly the way you want it is because you don't have the energy beyond survival to work with it. So I'm going to stop part one, because I really have some good stuff here for you, but I just felt I needed to lay this foundation. And some of you've heard it over and over again, but hearing it until it really connects with you and you understand that this is the answer to why people do not heal and people do not. We have to tap in to the energy to back it up. Let's say you're an artist and you've got the most beautiful picture in your mind. You know exactly what you want to paint. But you have no paints and you have no canvas. It doesn't matter how beautiful that picture is in you until you have something to put it on. It's not going to manifest. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the age of manifestation. I've been in this thing 62 years, and I'm sorry, enough's enough. I'm putting God on trial and saying, all right, if you're going to be the presence within me of all possibility, then I need for you to show up. And it says to me, when you give me the right frequencies and the right space, I will. That's Jesus standing at the door knocking. But somebody must open the door. So before I can get to what I want to, you've got to understand energy. You've got to understand how it basically works and how can we access universal energy. How can we deposit it correctly in a way that gives us the best interest, and how that we can have access to just be on a life of survival. Now, some people survive better than others. The person who's driving the Mercedes or the Cadillacs or the Lexus and whatever are really surviving better than the person who's got the rundown car that'll hardly make it to the corner. Some of us have a little bit more money in the bank than others, but some of us are healthier than others. That's true. But you're still living in the illusion, or what the Course in Miracles calls the better dream. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in the nightmare. I want a better dream. And I appreciate my better dream. I appreciate my house. I appreciate my car. I appreciate what I have. But it's not enough for me. I don't want to be better alone. I want to be better so that I can fully awake to the authentic essence of who I truly am as a whole, magnificent expression of the multiverse. That's my goal. That I know that. So if you are just swimming around in your little fishbowl, when there's a whole sea, an infinite sea out there, maybe we need to revisit how that we're actually doing things, how we're using prayer, how we're using visualization, how we're using meditation may need to be revisited again and updated to a higher level to bring in higher frequencies in some way. I hope I've made some sense to you. If not, I hope I've planted some good seed in the good ground that shall bring forth in you. But you know I'm telling you the truth. Some of you have been trying this thing for a long time, and you're still dealing with physical issues. You're still dealing with financial issues. You're still living with grief. You're still living with abuse and hurt from marriages and relationships. You're still dealing with all kinds of things that have been mistreated because of who you are, because of who you love, because of the color of your skin, all these kind of things, that 3D stuff that has been misused in our currency. I tell you, I'm ready for a new investment program. Yeah. So join with me in a moment of just contemplation, meditation, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to activate in us our inner investor, the high self, the wisdom. May we leave here as the intent more aware of how we are. And we will talk next week about how that we spend money, our energy, in wrong environments with wrong people, wrong places, and wrong things. And then when it comes to yourself, you don't have it in your count because you gave so much of your power away. Because you were taught to put everybody first. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. You're never going to be any much good for anybody else until you are taking care of yourself. I know that is something religion just hates for us to do and to talk about, is self. But I'm here to tell you it's okay. Love yourself, take care of yourself, do things that gives you more abilities, more intuition, more guidance. And to do that, it takes the energy in which to accomplish it. As we move within ourselves, we move to that elevator. You that are in the class may want to do your 3, 2, 1. To get you to that ground first floor, and you're standing in front of the elevator. The elevator door opens effortlessly, and you step in. Inside the elevator is an index of all of the things that are available in your building. On this floor is doctors, on this floor is dentists, on this floor is accountants. But the one that you want is investment agency. Push that button. Feel yourself slowly and effortlessly rising in this elevator to that floor. And the door gently, effortlessly opens. And before you is an office door that says energy investment. As you go into that door and walk through the waiting room of the lobby, you're drawn into the office of a person sitting there behind a desk. You can't really make out in the beginning who and what that person looks like, but you see a shadow of an entity, a being. This is your investment guide. As the light just changes a little bit, it shines on the person, and the person sitting there is you, not someone else. It is a part of your higher self, where all wisdom of the universe resides. You do not need someone else or somebody outside of yourself. You need only that part of yourself to be awakened and activated that can lead you and guide you in ways that you can begin to draw forth the creative power of energy. At this moment, you experience in your own way what you truly decide to experience in this experience of meeting your higher self and its wisdom of guidance and consciousness to move you toward an abundant life of energy to begin to co-create your new life, and more abundantly, and more abundantly. And now feel what it is like to meet this part of yourself that holds all the ways in which you can upgrade your energy account. That the next time you do a visualization, a prayer, or a meditation, and you write out that check for something you need, you know that it's not going to come back insufficient fund. But it will show up as the manifestation of itself in your life, giving you an upgrade of life. An upgrade of life. A happier, peaceful, prosperous, loving life that is in your inheritance. For it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the things of the kingdom of heaven. And it's not money and cars, it's peace, joy, and righteousness first. Seek this, and the other things shall be added to you. The fine car, the fine house, clothes, whatever, is just a byproduct of all that energy and frequency beginning to draw into your life through the spiritual law of attraction. It is your natural state to be well. It is your natural state to be happy. It is your natural state to be prospered. It is natural state for to have love in your life. It is not supernatural. It's not a miracle. It's the estate and citizenship of your heaven part that lives in the high places of self. Just a moment, I'm going to bring you back. But I'd like to challenge you to revisit this idea and message throughout your week, in your time of meditation, contemplation. Take your elevator and go back. And especially this week, if you enter a place, you've got to make a decision about something to do with money or health, a decision that you got to make with your doctor, about a medication or a supplement. I don't care what it is. I'm going to invite you to go into this place and ask, is this a good investment for me? Will this bring back the interest that I'm looking for in my life of the abundance of creative energy? Today I'm ready to go to the next step. And so it is. When you're ready to slowly come back. When you're ready to open your eyes and return back to this space feeling, I hope, hopeful and with vision. So we're going to continue this next Sunday on how exactly we can set up an energy currency account and how to invest it. Thank you so much for letting me just do what I do, and that's get out of the way. Just do what I do. For some reason, this needed to come out today. I don't know why, but it just was. So I hope that it's something you're going to take with you from here that's going to assist you on your path.